What is up, guys? In today's video, I'm going to talk a little bit about what the hell a men's sex coach is anyway. Stick around. Hi, my loves. I'm Justina Victoria, and I'm a psychosexual expert for men and couples. And today's video, we are going to be talking about what the hell that even means. Right? Like, I feel like men have been like marketed to in such like a weird, like creepy, I don't even know. Like everyone's always trying to sell sex to men, right? Like in some weird like basement kind of way, like buy this porn shit, like get an escort, have a prostitute, whatever. And so it's interesting because a lot of men, especially when I first started my business 7 years ago, they would come to me and they would be like, so are you gonna like watch me have sex? And I'm like, no. And they're like, so are you gonna have sex with me? I'm like, no. Are you gonna like watch me jerk off? I'm like, no, I'm not gonna watch you do anything. Like, think therapy. They're like, oh, okay. Right. Because they're like so confused. Like, nobody talks to me about my sexuality. I don't talk to even other guys about my sexuality. So, like, what are you doing? Or is this like a sexual thing? So, no, being a men's sex coach is not a sexual thing. I don't touch my clients. Like, I don't go on dates with my clients. I don't do anything other than have a professional relationship with my clients. And that professional relationship is all based on a specific issue that they're experiencing in their love or sex life, right? So most of my clients come to me with like erectile dysfunction, severe sexual anxieties. They come to me with issues like maybe they're really afraid of rejection or they haven't dated in a long time or they don't feel good about themselves or they're not getting the result in their love life or sex life that they want. Maybe their partner doesn't want to have sex with them or they don't want to have sex with their partner, or maybe they've been married for a long time and they're going through some struggles, right? So I always say like I work with all matters of the male heart. Like I work very strongly with like masculine energy, helping men to like really integrate into their power, their core, their confidence, their value, and untangling the this sort of mess that happens with masculine conditioning, where like most guys are conditioned to believe that their worth and value come from how well their dick performs. And that is not where a human being's value comes from. So I spend a lot of time helping my clients to unravel that, what I call a mess of conditioning. Um, so yeah, I have a really high success rate in curing erectile dysfunction and sexual anxieties. And the way that I do that is through several modalities. I've spent a really long time working with men and understanding how to fix their problems, right? So this isn't like something that you can like search on. In fact, if you search on cures for erectile dysfunction on the internet, you're gonna have some serious like struggles there. And that's typically what the guys do who end up finding me eventually. They're just like, I don't understand because the internet says like maybe it's food. And I'm like, it's definitely not food. Right. So like I even have had special cases of people like doctors have told them like they're never gonna get hard again. And I'm like, disregard that. And they're fine. I have 100% success rate in curing erectile dysfunction and sexual anxieties. I know that sounds crazy, but it is what it is. I'm just really good at doing what I do. So I create these formulas for my guys. I really figure out what is going on in the background that's causing a physiological response in their body. And I formulate a set of steps for them to follow. And they follow that and they get function back. Same thing with sexual anxiety. So people who come to me with like really severe, a lot of my clients come to me with like traumatic level of stress. It's different from PTSD, but it's way up there, you know, very strong hypervigilance, questions of like, am I gay? What's wrong with me? Am I a woman? Maybe I'm a woman, right? So like there are these like really intense questions from some of my clients who are like traumatized or have really strong narratives around their sexuality. So I want to give you like a window into what I do and how I do it and why I do it. So what I do is I solve problems in men's love and sex lives. And like I said, that ranges from heartbreak, fear of rejection, issues in dating, not attracting your dream woman, poor self-concept, erectile dysfunction, like any issue that a man is experiencing in his love and sex life is what I work with. Um, I also work with things like purpose, right? Because masculine energy is really based around having a direction, like having a really powerful purpose in life and like going after that, being connected to what's true for you. So I work a lot with that as well and helping men to like integrate in who they are, feel good about themselves, become the man that they really desire to be. Maybe feel like that is not available to them. I also work with couples as well, right? So couples will come to me for issues in their sex lives, issues in communication, issues just arguing, fighting, bickering, like not being able to get past a certain thing, right? So they come to me for that as well. And I really love working with couples. And my sessions are typically like an hour to an hour and a half long, just depends on what we're working on. I do see clients in my office in Manhattan, but I also see them via Zoom audio calls or whatever. We'll do sessions via phone. Or I will sometimes see clients in Ireland when I'm there. I have quite a large Irish audience from traveling back and forth between New York City and Ireland. So yeah, so most of my clients we do virtual. And I do have two offices, like one here, one in Ireland, where I see clients. And it's set up very similar to like a therapy session, right? So like you either show up to Zoom or you come into the office and we're just working on solving a problem, right? So you come in with the problem. And I typically the way that it works is if you can imagine that there's like a pyramid, right? At the bottom is education. So I educate my clients because a lot of them they've never received education in love and sex and relationships. Like all of their conditioning and everything is just like stacked on top of itself and they can't see clearly. They don't even know like which way is up, right? So we've got the bottom is education. So I'm educating my clients. I'm clearing away like old narratives and I'm teaching them what is actually true. Above that is awareness. Now the client is starting to become aware of what's true and what's a narrative and what is conditioning and what are belief systems that are not aligned with the outcome that they are trying to experience. And then above that, we start the unblending process. So you're actually unblending, unpracticing a way of behaving, thinking, feeling, and behaving the way that you have, which has created the outcome and the dynamic that you are currently experiencing. And through the unblending process, you're reblending with those new narratives, that new education, that new awareness, and blending with the man who is aligned with the experience that you want to have, thinking, feeling, and behaving in alignment with that man who is capable of holding and experiencing that experience, that outcome that you want to have. Then beyond that, you're going to relapse. Like you've had these networks, you've had these behaviors and habits and thought processes probably your whole life. For most clients, it's their whole life. And they have like childhood trauma, they have wounding, they have, experiences that they made meetings of about themselves that are really like poor in their self-concept. And those things feel real and true because they produce a biochemical output. So that biochemical output feels really fucking true, but it doesn't mean it is true. So this is the unblending process. Is unblending and you're like, yeah, I got this. Oh yeah, I'm like becoming the man that I want to be. And then something triggers you and you go back to thinking the way that you normally think and you're blended. You're relapsing back into that old story. And then you unblend and then you relapse and then you unblend and then you relapse. And every time you relapse, it gets less. So like that old story, that old narrative and the way that you used to behave will come back up, but then you're like, oh, this is stupid. Like it doesn't have the strong biochemical effect on you that it used to have. And that's the thing is like most people are trying to like build a new habit and they think like they just have to perfectly do that habit forever or perfectly be that person. Otherwise they fucked everything up. No, relapse is part of recovery. Whether you're recovering from alcohol or just like a personality trait or like a narrative, like relapse is part of recovery. You actually have to relapse. I mean, you have to see that you're unblending. And every time you relapse, you start to notice that it has less and less power over you. And you're less and less like polluting or seduced by that narrative. So this may or may not make sense to you right now, but this is just how my business works. And if you were a client, like this would all be, you would have the education behind it to like really understand this piece. But it's a very like, it's a similar to a therapy environment, right? Like you come in, we talk. And with the sex stuff, I give my clients certain formulas that I create for them. They go off and they use those formulas. There are certain set of steps that they need to like run through in their mind when they are having a sexual experience or on a date or in their relationship, whatever it is, right? That they're trying to solve. And then they come back to me with what I call data, right? So they come back and they say, okay, I used the formula and here was the outcome. Here's what happened. Then we look at what happened and we see how closely aligned it is to the outcome that they desire to experience, and then we tweak it. So this is just a process of learning to become aligned with what it is that you want to experience. And this is what I always tell my clients is nothing is good or bad. Everything is just either an experience you want to have or don't want to have. That's it. There's no success. There's no failure in life. You're either experiencing something you want to experience or you're not. And if you're experiencing something you don't want to experience right now, you can have the experience you want. You just have to become the person who can hold that, right? So very similar to like winning the lottery. If you have a lot of beliefs, if you've been taught your whole life that money doesn't grow on trees and like you need blood, sweat, and tears to like make money and you live paycheck to paycheck and that's your only experience of money and you win the lottery, that money is going to go out just as fast as it came in because you're not congruent with that experience. You can't hold that experience. It doesn't make sense. You don't have networks installed. You don't have the software installed to be able to hold that kind of money. You like that money is gone. And that happens to a lot of people who win the lottery who have a poverty mindset. They can't hold that experience. So clients who come in and they say, I want to be hard, or I don't want to be afraid of sex, or I want to like have my dream woman, or I want to stop being cheated on or abandoned, or I want to stop cheating on people, right? Like you have to change your self-concept and you have to practice that every day. You have to mentally rehearse and you have to unblend from the person that you used to be. That person, that those networks literally have to die off. You're killing off a part of your persona that you've had for a long time. And it takes time to do that. It doesn't take forever. In my opinion, it's quite a short period of time for such a huge transformation for a lot of people. But it takes diligence, it takes work, it takes persistence, and it takes like, tenacity. Like you have to be like, I want this. I'm tired of experiencing what I'm experiencing. I don't want to experience it anymore. And the only person to change is the self. Right. So you change and then your environment changes, your experience changes, your dynamic changes, who you draw in changes. You have to change you before anything else changes. So this is just a little window into like some of the things that I chat about with my clients and what I help them with. I hope that this makes what I do a bit clearer. And if you're interested in getting some help in this area, I do offer one-to-one coaching. I'm typically maxed out, but you can shoot me an email on the off chance that I do have an opening. Justina at sexualmasterycenter.com, or you can go to my website, justinavictoria.com. I also have some free stuff. I have like my pussy massage PDF. I have my porn pleasure and power course, which teaches you how to self-pleasure in ways that you didn't know were like amazing and pleasurable, and like rewire your ability to experience pleasure. That's free. You'll find all of my offerings in the link below. I also have my erect course, which is my cure for erectile dysfunction. And I have my boys club, which is just like an intensive, like it's literally every piece of wisdom that I could ever possibly teach on masculine energy, seduction, eroticism, and romance. So it takes you from literally feeling like maybe a doormat or feeling like not that confident or not having the experience you want, totally integrating your masculine energy, teaching you the art of like seducing, magnetizing women to you, totally deconditioning your sexuality, and then teaching you how to have long, sustainable, healthy, happy, fulfilling relationships. So Boys Club is my pride and joy. That's $69 a month. You'll find that at the link below as well. And I will see you in the next one.